Okay. This is complicated. It's really complicated. I hope I tell it right. I hope I'm able to express it right. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that, but I'm going to try because it's complicated. Welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina, Kristina. This is where we read books and talk about books. No special effects, no theme music, none of that fancy schmancy stuff going out here. I could use some likes and subscribes if you could let people know I exist. I just read books and talk about books. I'm not very good at the thumbnails. I'm not very good at creative titles and all that other stuff that goes on. I just concentrate on reading books and talking about books with you. Also, if you could check out my Star Trek Next Generation recaps every single Friday. There is a good majority that's not garbled. Only a few from season 5 were garbled, but the rest are pretty good, so check those out. I also do If Thens every Friday afternoon, If Then. We're up to episode 38 or 39 by now. So please check this out. I got carried away with Halloween and did Halloween horror, Halloween thriller, Halloween suspense. Then I got Thanksgiving cozies, Thanksgiving romances, Thanksgiving galore. Now we're doing Christmas like crazy. We will get back to I was doing forensics and homicides and Scotland Yard and witches and regencies and all that kind of stuff. So please go check all those out. If you're looking for a good read, a good mystery, good detective, please go check all those out. I also did one on Black authors a while ago and Native American authors. You could please check those out too. And don't forget Flashback Monday. Every single Monday, I talk about my favorite magazine, Romantic Times Book Review Magazine. And again, if you're looking for a book to read, that's where you find one. If you don't know what you're looking for, I give you Regencies, I give you mysteries, I give you inspirationals, I give you mainstream, contemporary romance, romantic suspense, mystery, paranormal, and some Harlequin. We do it all. And sometimes I usually do at least 50 books. Sometimes I get a little carried away and do 70 or 80. So, we are talking about book 6, River Marked. This is Mercy Thompson. Now, a lot of the normal introduction is not needed here. Mercy is a coyote and a walker. And Adam Thompson, her fiance, I guess to start the book off with, is a werewolf, and he's also alpha of his pack. And he has been traveling a lot, and he comes home, and he also has a teenage daughter. And there are some other pack members, but they really don't pertain to this too much. And because I usually go through all that, but we're not going to do that. And be aware, I do give spoilers. I won't spoil the ending, but I will spoil all the characters up until that point. So with any book I do, I'm always forever with the spoils. So, Adam's been traveling a bit. Jesus, So Adam has been traveling a bit. And so he comes home from his trip. They pick him up at the airport. And they greet him. Him and Mercy and Jesse greet him. She had a phone call with her mother. They've been planning a wedding. And let's see if I can find the right page. I didn't mark it down. But her mother has been driving her absolutely bonkers with her wedding plans. So she's picking up Adam at the airport, and her mother had wanted to release doves, and then she wanted to release pigeons, and And then she's decided on butterflies and balloons. She wants to release 200 balloons, gold ones. I expect she's trying to get monarch butterflies if she wants gold balloons. Monarch butterflies, said Adam. Can you imagine poor things trying to figure out their migration route from Tri-Cities? She has to be stopped before she destroys the ecosystem, I said, only half joking, and I think of one way to do it. My sister eloped under the pressure of planning her wedding with my mother. I guess I can too. He laughed and looked a lot less tired. I love your mother, he said with honest satisfaction, lowered his voice to a purr. I suppose preserving the Tri-Cities ecosystem is a valid reason for jumping the gun. Let's get married. I have a passport with me. Do you have a birth certificate so we can get the license, or do we need to go home first? So, it turns out that unknown to Adam and Mercy, but to everybody else, they've been planning the wedding, and it's in a couple of days, and it's at the church, and everybody's been told about it, and everybody's going to show up, and it's all planned. And Mercy and them didn't know. It was surprise! Guess what? Who knew? So, then they go on their honeymoon in a camper. They go camping in a really sophisticated camper. And, they go to Columbia Gorge Canyon, and Mercy sees, they spend a lot of time doing romantic stuff and changing into their animal form and running around and getting to know each other better and blah, 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 blah. But then they also go down to the river. And when they get down to the river, they see Fey otter. They're called otterkin. And there was 6 or 7 of them. I forget if there's 6 or 7 at the beginning. Oh yeah, 6, 6, 6, 6. So, while they're at the water and they see the otterkin, they also hear a cry for help. So Adam can't get in the water because he's a wolf and too heavy and can't swim. But Mercy can. So she goes into the river and she rescues the guy, and something grabs her leg and tries to pull her down. And when she first happened, she's thinking it's a plant. And then they discover this guy in this boat. His legs all been chewed up, and they're Mercy's naked and all this stuff. And these other people come and they show up. And, let's see if I can get this right now. They meet these people. Benny was the hurt man. Jim interrogated me for all that his questions were soft-spoken and quiet, while the Owen brothers did their best to save Benny. No sign of anyone else, he asked me after I told him how Adam and I had found the boat and how Adam had run back to camp to get help. No. Benny was with his sister, Faith. Faith was with him out fishing. They were supposed to be home for dinner. Julie, Benny's wife, said she called Fred tonight when Benny didn't answer his phone. We were docking, but the Jamesons are good folk. We put the boat back in the water and started looking. And then they want to know what tribe Mercy's from. And she says the Blackfoot or Blackfeet. You don't know which, said Calvin, speaking for the first time. I never knew my father. My mother is white. He told my mother he was from Browning, Montana. The war was doing a good job of warming the skin it covered, because she was naked, they gave her a coat. So you were raised white. I should have told them I was Hispanic and any Indian bloods were South American unknown. Half of my customers thought I was Hispanic. Telling them I was Hispanic felt like it would have been less of a lie than telling him I was Indian. Browning, Montana makes him Blackfeet, Jim told me. Pegan, the pie, and the Siska are Blackfoot. I knew that, but it hadn't tripped off my tongue. What were you doing out here? It's an odd place to be running around at this time of night. And, she just got married. She tells him all this kind of stuff. And so then they go up to the highway, get Benny rescued. So then she sees her father, not her father. It's kind of complicated, but the ghost claims to be her father, not her father. He says some part of him is her father and some part of him is not her father. And he fills her in on some information, and he also tells her some things to do. And then, of course, her and Adam have to talk about it. All right. So, we move further down the line, and I wanted to get the creature that had damaged Benny and the creature that had damaged Mercy's leg. It has been killing people. They discover later on in the book, and there are some newspaper articles in here, that it's been killing people for a while now, for 6 months or so. And they think it's a serial killer, so the FBI and stuff is involved. And so the creature's face looked like a little fox, a mutant fox with big teeth and tentacles. Its body was snake-like. It was a cross between a Chinese dragon and a fox with the teeth of a wolf eel. And it will change. It changes throughout the story. But it mostly has a snake body, but the head will change. So they explained to her it's called the River Devil. Its eyes were eager, intelligent, and hungry. I'd seen them before, bright green eyes in the water that I'd seen in my dream. I blinked and the eyes were just eyes. No matter how avid they appeared, they were just carved in stone, but I knew what I'd seen. Now, there's a coyote story about a monster who lived in the Columbia in the time of the first people before we humans were here. And this monster ate up all the first people who lived in the river. It ate up all the first people who fished in the river. Eventually, no one was willing to go near the river at all, so they called it the Great Spirit for help. He sent Coyote to see what he could do. And the Great Spirit told Coyote to let the river devil eat everybody, and then he was to get eaten by the river spirit, and then he was to burn a fire in the river devil's stomach and kill it from the inside out, and then all the people escaped and they all lived. So that's the story he tells them. And so it gets, I wanted to find the more introduction of these peeps. So it's Fred Owens, through his brother was one who sat next to him. USMC retired. Red Hawk, when it suits me, rancher. Honk Owens, USMC retired. Rancher, welder. Red Hawk, when it suits him. And then Calvin, and they talk about the hospital and stuff like that. So then, they discover that the Red Devil, the River Devil, talks to Mercy again, and it has marked Mercy as her prey. And she's told Murphy that she has some children, and she wants Mercy to exchange herself for the lives of the children, and Mercy agrees to do that. And she also writes goodbye letters to everybody. She writes to Adam, she writes to Jesse, she writes to Bran, the head king werewolf guy in the United States, and also the guy that raised her, and Uncle Mike and stuff. Uncle Mike is part of the Fae, and it's a really complicated story, but it's their honeymoon. This is how they spend their honeymoon. Adam gets shot, unknown reason, but the guy just shoots him, and he was possessed at the time, so that's what it's laid off to be. And it's just such a multi-layered Indian Fae plot. It's Fae-based, myth-based, Indian-based, legend-based, story-based. It's very, very complicated. And I'm anxious to read the next book. So if you could please join me for the Frost Burn. But so check this book out and discover if Mercy and Adam survive. Well, actually, there's the next book, so I guess they do survive. But they end up very injured. And how injured, you'll have to read the book, and how they got injured, and how Mercy made this her sacrifice for herself to save all these children, and what happened with the Otter King, Kin, K-I-N, like they're Fae. And what happened with Adam, he went through a depressional period. He changed into a wolf and could not change back to human for several days. He gets shot. Mercy is almost killed. She's ends up severely injured and has to recover from that. It's a very scary, very climactic honeymoon. So out of there with all these different people coming up, all the food eating that goes on, all the Indian folklore that comes down. Mercy and her father talk, or not her father, because he's a father this time, but he's not a father the next time. He says he has phases when he is a father, when he isn't her father. So she gets to know him a little bit. So we have Fae legend, we have the legend of Stonehenge a little bit in here, and we have Indian legends. There's a lot to unpack in this book. So I hope you will check it out, and I will hope you will hit the like and subscribe. Thank you.